Jesus. Hey! Hey! Jesus. Jesus. Hey! Hey! See this, God Almighty. See this bus shop. Oh my God. Hey! Hey!
Wonders they said shall never end. I believe you all have watched the video and you remember this video. That our mama, that Nigerian soldiers burnt people's houses like mad. Anyways, in this video, you will listen to the in-depth analysis of what happened today or what transpired today in the courts. How Nigerian state with their masked witness, how they were fooling themselves. They thought these guys they forget that they are dealing with sophisticated people who are well knowledgeable, people who are well informed. Anyways, I want you guys to listen to the in-depth analysis of what transpired today in the court. This our brother analyzed everything detail by detail. In fact, the analysis is a top notch. I want you guys to pay attention. Listen to everything that's transpired in the court today. I greet you all. Please like and share.
All right, welcome back to the channel. So this is actually the latest news coming out from the Federal High Court in Abuja. So as we all know, IPOB leader Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, appeared at the Federal High Court today, being the 6th of May 2025. And from the moment he arrived, it was clear that the atmosphere was tense but focused. So the case began officially today with both sides stepping forward to introduce their legal teams. And on the prosecution side, the lead counsel Awomolo introduced his team of lawyers, while on the defense side, Chief Kanu Agabi SAN led the charge and also introduced his legal team as well. And one of the standout moments during the introductions came from Barrister Audu Nungi from Gombe State, who boldly came out to declare his full support and love for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and vowed to defend him with full commitment. That alone actually sparked a lot of attention in the courtroom today. And then came the core of the day's session, cross-examination of the first prosecution witness who had earlier testified. The defense team took over the questioning and asked very direct and strategic questions. And one of the questions were you consulted before the charges were filed? And then the witness replied, "Yes, my lord." Then, but when asked if he knew that Kanu was once charged with 15 counts, the witness said he was not aware. Then the second question was asked whether he knew those charges were later struck out by a judge. He then replied he was not aware. Now, another question followed. The question was asked, he said, "Are you aware the defendant was charged for inciting the public to destroy public property?" He replied, he said he was not aware. Another question was being asked, "Are you aware that charge was struck out again?" He also replied, "I was not aware." Then came a question that changed the tone slightly. It was asked, "Are you aware that in furtherance of terrorism, the defendant directed the public to destroy government properties in Lagos?" The witness finally responded, "I am aware." But when asked if he knew that charge was struck out by the trial judge, he said, "I am not aware" again. After that round of questioning, the second prosecution witness was called in, and at this time this witness seemed very much prepared and had a clearer voice. Now, first they asked, "Do you know Mazi Nnamdi Kanu?" The witness answered, "Yes, I know Mazi Nnamdi Kanu." He explained that he met Kanu at the DSS office in Abuja, where he was assigned to question him. He said during that time, it became clear to him that Kanu was the leader of the proscribed group. He also claimed that Kanu was the founder of ESN, Eastern Security Network, an armed group. Then the prosecution asked him to describe the setting of the meeting he had with Kanu. As things got deeper, the prosecution brought in a letter from the former Attorney General of the Federation and shared it around the court. But that move quickly ran into trouble. Kanu's lead counsel, Chief Kanu Agabi, stood up and objected strongly, saying the letter was not part of the official evidence and had not been served to the defense. He demanded that if the letter was going to be used, then he and his team must be allowed to view it properly. So after some back and forth, the prosecution agreed to withdraw the letter officially through a court motion. Then the witness was asked to talk about what happened back in 2012 during the interview phase with Kanu. And according to him, he claimed that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu encouraged people to burn houses and cause destruction. Now, at that point, the prosecution attempted, to bring more documents into the court. But again, the defense objected, saying clearly that they had not received any of those documents. The prosecution responded saying they were not ready to serve them. But the defense pushed, back harder, revealing that they hadn't received almost all the documents, that was presented in court today, including the videos and, the Attorney General letter. Also, even the trial judge himself confirmed that he had not been served, any such document either. And because of the confusion, over evidence and procedure, the prosecution had no choice but to ask the court to adjourn the case till tomorrow, being the 7th of May 2025. That is when the court case will continue. And we're also aware that this court case is also going to be holding as well on Thursday, the 8th of May. That is where we would also be seeing more witnesses that will be coming to testify on this particular issue.
The importance of Nnamdi Kanu is recognized in northern Nigeria. Northerners are saying that we need a person like Nnamdi Kanu in our region. Northerners are saying that we need a person like Nnamdi Kanu in our region. Mind you, Nnamdi Kanu speaks for every tribe in Nigeria, the freedom of every tribe in Nigeria. Let's look at this. Khalid Yazidu, a prominent northern youth advocate and political commentator, took to social media to share a powerful and emotional reflection of Nnamdi Kanu's words in court, calling them not merely a defense, but a cry from a depth of a wounded soul. We know that injustice prevails in this system that we find ourselves. And when you come out and start speaking for the people, you become an enemy of the government. So Northerners admire what Nnamdi Kanu has been doing over the years. We expect Nnamdi Kanu to be released according to the judge and the judgment. We expect Nnamdi Kanu to be released. The judge said he has to conclude the case. He must conclude the case anytime soon. Let me read this, what the judge said about Nnamdi Kanu and that case. He says, the court has been adjourned to the 6th, 7th and 8th of May. The judge says this matter must come to a conclusion by the 8th of May. It has lingered for 10 years and I'm not going to stew it anymore. We are going to give an account of our actions here on earth when we die. I want to give a good account. So we're expecting, we don't know the mind games that the federal government is playing on this Nnamdi Kanu issue or case. But we are expecting that they conclude Nnamdi Kanu's release because it has to be released. Almost every Igbo man is in DSS detention. Every reasonable Igbo man, likewise me, we are in DSS detention. We are in captivity. When Nnamdi Kanu is free, when Nnamdi Kanu go through the process, because you can't find Nnamdi Kanu guilty. Nnamdi Kanu has said that I am not guilty. So the court has to prove that he's guilty. With the jurisdiction of proving Nnamdi Kanu guilty, then we have to go back to how he was being transported into Nigeria. How did the government get hold of Nnamdi Kanu in Kenya? What processes did they take in bringing him into Nigeria? Do they have the grounds to persecute him or prosecute him, because I think this is persecution. So today is 6th of May 2025, and we're expecting that Nnamdi Kanu would obtain his release. I'm very happy that everybody is now realizing the importance of this young man. Federal government led by the Fulani, I know they don't want him to leave that place. They don't want Nnamdi Kanu to be free at all. Which God in heaven will make sure that they don't kill this young man in prison. Tinubu has to restructure Nigeria and also facilitate the release of Nnamdi Kanu. It is in the hands of the government to do the needful. I don't know whatever political implications it has on 2027 elections. Whether some people are saying that they want to release him so that Igbo youth will be fixated on what they are going to do with Nnamdi Kanu than what politics will be played 2027. I don't care. See, what the reasons why you see me here every morning is because I need Nigeria to be restructured. We have so many talented people, so many good people, so many intelligent people, so many skillful people in Nigeria. But the system is destroying their destinies. Look at JAMB. 75% failed JAMB. Not even got less than 200. That is over failure. When we were writing JAMB those days, you having 200, you have failed now. You having 220, you have failed. 230, you have failed. But we have a system that if we don't restructure, imagine we sharing a country with people that think backwards, people that don't want to move the country forward. In whatever, see, you see the tax form. The National Assembly is going to resume and they are going to deliberate on the tax form implementation, constitutional review. Let's see how some elements from northern Nigeria would not want these policies, these reforms to be passed. They will kick against the reforms because they believe that they have a certain kind of system they need to infuse in Nigeria. That their nomadic Islamic system, they want it to be part. That's why you see. However, most of us came to realize that there is Sharia in the 1999 Constitution. We are shocked. How come do we have Sharia in our own Constitution? Constitution, we have Sharia. So the Northerners have the kind of governance they want for Nigeria, irrespective. Okay, you want to Islamize Nigeria. Let us go now. No, you cannot go. We are one Nigeria. I heard it from two people's mouth. The unity of Nigeria is non-negotiable. Number one, Buhari. Number two, Sultan of Sokoto. Two Fulanis. And two people that are pushing for the agenda of Uthman Danfodio. So we cannot be sharing the same country with some people who are not wanting us to achieve our destinies as distinct people with heritage, different heritage. The mindset of an Igbo man is different from that of another person over there in the Middle Belt and North Nigeria. That's why we need to have our own society protected. But there are some people that want to make sure that they erase your heritage, make sure that your culture is inferior, and they dominate you in every aspect of your life, like the way the Fulanis have been doing the houses. So I'm very happy that the influence of Nnamdi Kanu cuts across the southeast, even to the southwest, and other parts of Nigeria. The Middle Belt are acknowledging some of the statements from some of the psychology of Nnamdi Kanu. The sacrifice this young man has sacrificed for this Biafra agitation, this liberation of the African. It is not only Nigerians or Yoruba people or the Hausa people or Igbo people. This man is an African liberator. So the court has adjourned to 6th. We are on today is 6th. We're expecting whatever they are going to do. I hope they are not having sinister motives to convict this guy on top nothing. So the matter must come to an end. I hope they are serious with what they are saying, not that the matter must come to an end. When he reach now, on that baby grammar, baby call from Abuja will go enter. They'll call the talk baby grammar from left, right, center. Okay. We never forget that the federal government tried using somebody who came to testify in court to connect Nnamdi Kanu to Simon Ekpa. Remember, there was a time Simon Ekpa was saying sit at home. And we had killings. Nnamdi Kanu, during one of the court sessions, says, I did not start this agitation for my people to be killed. Stop the killings. No sit at home. But however, Simon Ekpa and his group of agitators decided to go on with the sit at home. So the Nigerian government is trying every way, means or possible to suppress this young man. Maybe if they can be able to connect him with Simon Ekpa, they can bring him to a negotiating table whereby he will have to agree with some of their terms and conditions. Or else, if they want to do the needful, they need to release this young man. Take him back to where you got him from. Then you start the normal process of trying to extradite him from the UK or whatsoever. The UK is one of your allies. Extradite him. The same way you are spending resources, spending everything you can to extradite Simon Ekpa. What Nigeria needs is restructuring. All these funds are back. When I say refinery, we talk baby grammar, money spent, side, turn around. For refinery, trillion spent. Now $800 something million spent. At the end of the day, 8 years, this is 10 years, nothing is working. And we wasted time. When they say this system will not work, some people just come from one place, start speaking baby grammar. This, that. The system would not work. I said it before, Tinubu has the ample opportunity to restructure Nigeria. If not, it is going to be a hard one on Southerners. If these Northerners lay hold on power, this is the bitter truth. Forget all these cosmetic governance system that you are, you can't go against this, you can't go against that. Can you explain why terrorists will kill people? Can you explain? They will kill people, kidnap people, and the Nigerian government will say they want to rehabilitate them. Have you been able to rehabilitate your prisoners in your various cells? That you are rehabilitating terrorists? Why is it that our army is not winning the war against this banditry? Why is it that nobody is accountable? Nobody is explaining to Nigerians this is the pains we are going through. Nobody is addressing Nigerians, except there's something that happened and it goes viral. You see the army spokesperson will come and start addressing. Nigerians don't understand. Make them understand. Why would you rehabilitate? I saw a report the other time. They say if they don't rehabilitate this Boko Haram, that they will go back to terrorism. See, they don't. If you are involved in terrorism, you get the capital punishment. That is it. That is it. In a fair society, you get life imprisonment so that it doesn't encourage other people. Imagine, somebody said that when the Kaduna kidnap happened, that he stayed with kidnappers for 100 something days during the time of Buhari, he met one of the kidnappers that kidnapped him for many days in a mosque. He met him in a mosque. The guy looking tattered. They had conversation. He said he has forgiven him. He's no more. If you have other kidnappers that is reading the story of this young man that was kidnapped and later met the person that kidnapped him in a mosque, the person is doing Okada, whatsoever, is rehabilitated and got him back in the society. Those ones that are in the bush, what is the motive? That is a motivation. They believe that nothing will happen to them if they go into kidnapping. You see some of them flaunting money online, left, right, center. This one that you say that can be an informant. He has stopped banditry. Is now these are informants. These are people that if there's no money, don't you think that they can easily go back into kidnapping? The capital punishment is for terrorists. Capital punishment is for terrorists. Okay? Look at, let me read it. Say, I won't forgive Nigerian government. Man says after meeting bandit who abducted him, now repentant in Kaduna Mosque. The reintegration of repentant Boko Haram fighters essential for national security. That is from the National Orientation Agency. Essential for national security. So the army have not been able to explain to us how come you have been implementing this policy for a very long time and it has not yielded results. National security, but people are still dying and dying in their droves. People are afraid to go to farm. Some places are displaced. In Enugu State, a young man was crying the other time that he just took his brother. Yesterday in Benue State, a full bus, people just kidnapped. How has it played out? Other countries, is that what they do? That's why I said, we need to restructure this country. These things are influenced by some of those Northerners in the army and Northerners generals in politics and whatsoever. The policies that reintegration. If you catch an Igbo man after you tag him IPOB, you take him in underground cell. Most of them, they are being killed. Most of them, we don't find their parts anymore. But if it's a particular set of people, you carry them, put in one place, give them food, give them clothes. You are saying you are rehabilitating them. While others, you don't think of rehabilitating them going through the same program and bring them back into society. It's just like rinse and repeat. Those who ones going into banditry, you capture them, rinse and repeat. How can you make me understand? If somebody gave a revelation at a radio station, he said he was one of his sniper soldiers. He killed many of these Boko Haram guys. His own colleagues shot him. You are killing them too much. Okay, they should not kill them so that tomorrow they will carry them and go and rehabilitate them. So capital punishment is what we need. But since nobody wants to listen to anybody, they do the things they want to do. The other time, 309 Boko Haram repentant terrorists, they rehabilitated them and brought them into the society, and we are living together. I've said it. Tinubu has the ample opportunity to restructure Nigeria. If he doesn't, it is on his own. He's just risking it. So Nnamdi Kanu is an epitome of liberation. If you don't like him, I don't know. If you don't like him, that's your business. You need to like him. Listen to the message. Listen to the pain. If you have been through what some of these Southeasterners have been through, these guys, whether it is Samanekpa, whether it is Wazirike, whether it is Nnamdi Kanu, whether it is Ojukwu, these guys have been pushing for one Nigeria for a very long time. And they have come to the realization that this one Nigeria is not bound to work. Look at what Professor Akintola said. Yoruba should unite all over globally, because they know that Nigeria as a project is failed. And these colonial masters want to make sure that everybody is structured in this your Nigeria. Put you together. They know that it cannot work. But so far you are fighting yourself, you're arguing against yourself, you are being divided. They will look for somebody who is corrupt. I need to read something to you. Yorubas have realized it. I hope these elite politicians realize that we need to regionalize or balkanize this system and create a system that works. We know the system that works for us Africans. It is not the system that you will create for us. Who own our natural resources? Private companies are the ones running our natural resources. And who own these private companies? Are they Nigerian companies who own that are drilling our oil? Are they Nigerian companies? Are they Shell, Chevron? Are they Nigerian companies? So Nigerian companies just stay and they partner with these investors, and investors take a lot from us. They manage our resources in Nigeria. We Nigerians cannot manage our resources 100%, even 80%. We cannot manage our resources ourselves. They want to take advantage of the division of Nigeria to start managing our resources and stealing from us. Can we tell ourselves the drop? Can we account to every last drop of crude oil that leaves Nigeria? Can we account? But what they do is they look for people like Tompulo, look for people like Asari Dokubo, give them guns, give them prominence, look for corrupt leaders. They'll give them power in exchange of loyalty. Look what happened in 2015. Bring back our girls. Before you know, they send message to the governor of Meduguri then, who is the vice president now. These girls will be kidnapped too. Maybe not take these girls will be kidnapped, but they just do as if no, nothing will happen. All of a sudden, the girls are whisked away. They carry the problem, put for a Jonathan. Jonathan brought in somebody, Ihejirika. Ihejirika was hitting these guys, these terrorists. He went into and started, Northerners were all complaining, both politicians and the likes. They're complaining that in one kill also. It happened in Borno State under Shetima, that is now the vice president, because like I said, these imperialists, they give you power in exchange of loyalty. Buhari and El-Rufai, they threaten the government of Jonathan. Bamboos and monkeys will be soaked in blood, you go back in body baths and what have you. Islamics, willing tools used. Tinubu, they all played into that is it trap or agreement? Because I believe it's an agreement. I believe that's what my belief is. Civil society organizations, hey, left, right, center, they are blowing their trumpet, boom, under Jonathan. Shady, they organize this seminar, they organize this work, they organize this protest. When they actually won the election, when Buhari actually won, we did not even see these civil society organizations anymore. They disappeared under Buhari. They disappeared under Tinubu. So the West, they know, they believe that they have silenced Nnamdi Kanu, but that voice is still speaking in our minds till tomorrow. This is a do or die situation. It's survival of the fittest. We must do everything we can to make sure that we are liberated from this system that's been created by the colonial masters, by the imperialists. If you can read a book, Why Africa is Underdeveloped, you learn a lot of things. It's a deliberate. Even these are leaders, they know. But most times they can't help it. Look at what FBI is doing with Tinubu. I will release redacted files. You think the US wants better thing for Nigeria? You have something on somebody, at the time you needed to release it, you are waiting to use it against the person, but maybe the person agreed to 1 or 2 terms and conditions. You now start removing. Anywhere they put this man's name there, anywhere you start removing, you reshuffle it and presented half-truths to people. Now Trump has entered, you want to now present it. So they look for people that they can control and use them to make sure that they keep Africa poor. We have decided to take our destinies in our hands. That's why you see movements just like the Biafra, Yoruba, and other movements. It is only to change the system that is most important. Nothing else than changing the system. If you continue, you waste your time. Some of us, we started when we were 18, 16, 17, 18. Now we are almost around 30. They wasted a lot of our time. Some of the opportunities, we can look at the educational system now. I talked about this APC influencers online, saying P2P did not build any school for 8 years. But they didn't read the manifesto of P2B. P2B's manifesto says that he's not going to build any new schools. He's going to make sure that he equip the schools and make the schools, existing schools, up to standard. And we looked at the performance of the Anambra students. Okay, they said they have miracle centers. But when you look at JAM today, our results, most of those that get high in JAM are in Lagos. Most of those Anambra students that get high score in JAM are in Lagos. So is it Lagos Miracle Center? We have been building schools and schools and schools. Every school, the one we have not been able to maintain it. That's why you see 75% people fail. And some people are pushing. And the ones that are available, how equipped are they? The teachers, how equipped? The curriculum, how sophisticated is the curriculum? We can't talk about all these things, but we just... The education they have given us in the past is only making us to become servants and never to be people that think. We don't think. Because the kind of... may God help Nigerians.